If you're like me, you have a lot of friends who are depressed. A lot of friends who go around very gloomy, think the world is coming to an end. You can understand people feeling depressed, you can understand people feeling desperate, because the truth is, we're faced with evil. There's an enormous number of people who care about the world and about the country, want to do something about it, and those numbers are going to grow so long as people persist and don't give up.
You kill our civilians, we kill y'all civilians. How the fuck that makes sense when we all civilians? Wartime presidents do wartime shit. That's why wartime presidents can suck my dick. There were minority voices that were criticizing war. You can't match violence with violence should be the law.
I keep wondering why humans talk about unity like it's some kind of holy grail. As if the moment we all hold hands, the clouds will part, the choir will start singing Kumbaya in autotune, and the collective IQ of the species will rise more than the average TikTok videos are clearly reducing it. We desperately worship this fantasy of togetherness. We chant one world, one people, and then the second we actually form a group, we transform into a demolition crew of our own humanity. It's almost comical. It's like we crave unity the same way addicts crave substances they know damn well will ruin them. But we still chase it, saying, "This time it will be different," knowing full well that we're full of shit. Humans unite like drunk exes getting back together at 3 a.m., passionately, impulsively, and with catastrophic consequences already loading in the background. You would think after a few thousand years of civilization repeatedly collapsing, religions fracturing, political movements mutating into bullhorns for collective psychosis, we'd notice the pattern. But no, we're like goldfish with trauma. Every loop around the bowl feels brand fucking new. Oh, would you look at that? It's astonishing how much harm we're willing to commit in the name of us. How violently we guard our little carved out tribes. How quickly the warmth of belonging metastasizes into the cold appetite for domination. Unity, as practiced by humans, is just loneliness and drag. A desperate cosplay, worn to convince ourselves we matter to someone, somewhere, anywhere. But unity becomes dangerous the moment the tribe starts chanting the same slogans, reading the same scripts, worshipping the same sacred cows. That's when belonging mutates into a weapon. You can look at any era of human history and see the same twisted joke repeat. The Nazis united over national pride, racial purity, and their shared devotion to the world's most insecure failed art student. The KKK bonded over Jesus, a severe lack of melanin, and an insatiable need to cosplay as ghosts, because apparently a horde of grown-ass men under bed sheets is how they define courage. Soviet communists came together for equality, somehow produced gulags and famine. American colonists united for freedom while building a slave economy so brutal it still haunts the present day like a poltergeist that refuses to be banished. Every time humans gather in groups, they build a shrine to unity, and then use it to set the world on fire. Our historical timeline reads like a highlight reel of beautiful intentions, monstrous outcomes. And somehow we still think the next group, the next movement, the next ideology will be the magical one that finally won't suck. Spoiler alert, it's gonna fucking suck. Humans suck in groups. We become stupid, violent, tribal, and self-righteous. We become caricatures of ourselves, inflated by the ego boost of being on the right, quote unquote, the right side. Nothing corrupts the individual quite like the comfort of a crowd, and yet the desire for unity is still real, still powerful, still lodged deep in the human animal like a bone we can't cough up. It's because unity is evolution's cruel prank. We've survived as tribes, so our DNA still thinks following the group is the safest thing we can do. But the modern world doesn't reward tribal instincts, it exploits them. Look at social media, the great digital coliseum where tribes gather not to build anything, but to tear each other apart for sport. You see people online screaming about unity, equality, justice, and then the moment someone disagrees, even slightly, the firing squad assembles. Unity might be the appetizer, but total annihilation is the main course. We used to burn heretics at the stake. Now we informally can't quote-unquote cancel them. Which is just burning people with Wi-Fi instead of firewood. Same ritual, same bloodlust, different tools. In our entire time on Earth, humanity hasn't changed one bit. It has only rebranded. And if you're sitting there thinking, oh, well, not me, I'm more evolved, I wouldn't get swept up in all that hysteria. Well, congratulations. Not only are you absolutely full of shit, but that's also exactly what every fanatic in history said right before committing atrocities in the name of hive mind righteousness. Nobody thinks they're the villain. Nobody thinks they're the monster. Everyone believes their unity is the good kind, the enlightened kind, the necessary kind. And that's the problem. Evil doesn't arrive in red skin. Evil doesn't arrive in red skin, a pointy tail, and a set of horns. It shows up wearing matching team jerseys or uniforms. You can study any genocide, any massacre, or any systemic crime, and you'll find unity sitting at the scene of the murder, holding the weapon, smiling proudly. The Rwandan genocide didn't emerge out of a vacuum. It was unity, tribal unity, weaponized by propaganda and fear. The Crusades weren't random. They were unity under God, unity under a cross made of blood-soaked ambition. The Roman Empire united under destiny and produced centuries of conquest that would make modern war criminals blush. Even seemingly benign groups eventually fall to the rot. Cults that start with peace and love end up stockpiling weapons. Political revolutions become authoritarian nightmares. Religions fracture into denominations that hate each other more than the love of the deity they allegedly serve. It's like humans can't help themselves. Give us a flag and we'll find someone to strangle with it. Give us a leader and we'll build up a throne high enough to justify any atrocity committed beneath it. Give us a shared identity and suddenly all others become subhuman. It's not that humans are evil by default. Nah, that would be too lazy and too convenient. It's that humans are cowards by default. And cowardice in groups becomes cruelty. It becomes dogma. It becomes the kind of righteousness that doesn't require thought, humility, or accountability. Groups protect the individual from shame. You can hide in the crowd. You can outsource your conscience to the hive. You can say, this is what we believe, instead of, this is what I believe. It's the ultimate moral cheat code, and yet individuality alone won't save us either. Because no one actually wants to be alone. We want to belong. We want to be seen. We want to be held by something bigger than our own fragile ego. And that desire is so vulnerable, so tender, humans would rather let a tyrant hold them than feel the ache of necessary solitude. We don't unite because we're strong. We unite because we're fucking terrified. But here's the real paradox nobody wants to face. Unity itself isn't the problem. The problem is the lie we smuggle inside of it. The lie that unity requires sameness. We keep forming groups that demand uniformity, purity, obedience, ideological conformity, the erasure of individuality. Humans don't unite under shared humanity. We unite under shared enemies. And you know what happens to groups united by hatred? They eventually need more hatred to stay together. Hate is a glue that dissolves everything it touches, including the people using it. That's why every hate-based movement eventually collapses into infighting. The Nazis turned on each other, the KKK splintered into fractions, competing to see who could hate more efficiently. Extremist groups purge their own members like snakes eating their own tails. And when the unity is built on contempt, you eventually run out of outsiders to blame, so you cannibalize yourselves. Even the quote-unquote good kinds of unity fall apart. Activist movements fracture into purity tests. Ideological allies fight over semantic differences. Religious communities collapse under the weight of their own hypocrisy. All evidence shows that humans are fucking allergic to sustained harmony. Our egos demand ownership of the narrative. Everyone wants to be the hero, the prophet, the chosen one, and nothing destroys unity faster than 10 people all convinced they're holding the absolute truth. And yet, even after seeing the ruins of every collapsed empire, every betrayed revolution, every idealistic movement that imploded under the weight of its own contradictions, we still cling to the fantasy that unity will be the cure. We don't realize it's also the fucking disease. Maybe the real issue is that we expect unity to be effortless. We expect humans to naturally get along, as if evolution designed us for empathy instead of survival. Unity requires discipline, humility, self-awareness. 3 things humans have historically avoided with the same enthusiasm we have for avoiding to read the terms and conditions like the idiots we are. We want unity without doing the inner work. We want a sense of community without making any sacrifice. We want togetherness without all the accountability that requires. It's no damn wonder every attempt collapses. You can't build unity on the foundation of unexamined egos. That shit is not unity. That shit's a group costume made out of fear, delusion, and unresolved childhood wounds. Yikes. But here's the real plot twist. Unity is possible. Just not the kind humans usually attempt. Real unity isn't belonging to a group. Real unity is belonging to the truth. It's choosing honesty over comfort, curiosity over certainty, respect over tribal loyalty. It's refusing to join mobs even when the mob claims moral superiority. It's standing alone when the group demands conformity. It's embracing the uncomfortable reality that being human is messy, contradictory, violent, and beautiful. The only unity worth chasing is the unity built by individuals who have confronted their own deep darkness, their own damn hypocrisy, and their own capacity for cruelty, because the only people who won't abuse power are those who have openly admitted they're capable of it. We keep searching for unity outside of ourselves because it's easier than facing the battlefield within. We want to fix humanity as a collective before we've attempted to fix the broken architecture of our own wretched characters. We talk about unity as if it's a political project when it's actually a spiritual discipline. The discipline of not becoming the monster you fear, even when the group around you is begging you to. The discipline of saying, I will not hate on command. The discipline of recognizing that your tribe is not your identity, your ideology is not your soul, and your group is not your conscience. Unity should not be considered merging with the crowd. It should be refusing to disappear inside it. If humans ever want to stop repeating history over and over again like a depressed drunk compulsively reading texts from their ex, we need a new kind of unity, one forged by individuals who are brave enough to remain individuals. A unity that doesn't require obedience but responsibility, not sameness but integrity. A unity that survives disagreements. A unity that doesn't need an enemy to stay alive. A unity rooted in truth, not delusion, because if we don't develop that kind of unity, we'll keep circling the same drain. We'll build more movements destined to implode, more governments destined to corrupt, more ideologies destined to rot into dogma, and more tribes destined to practice violence as a form of bonding. We don't need unity that feels good. We need unity that forces us to grow. The kind of unity that tells you when you're wrong, challenges you when you're slipping, and holds you accountable to a version of yourself you haven't become yet. Unity shouldn't feel like a warm blanket. It should feel like being dragged out of bed by someone who refuses to let your potential rot. That's unity we've been avoiding. The unity that demands evolution instead of obedience. Because at the end of the day, humans will always be drawn to groups. We're social creatures after all. But the real revolution is to walk into any group, any community, any movement, any ideology, without surrendering your mind, your conscience, and your soul. To belong without being owned. To unite without being swallowed. To connect without being corrupted. Because unity without self-awareness is just a prettier form of destruction. And maybe it's time to stop being surprised when the groups we build turn into monsters. After all, they're made up of us, and we're fucking monsters ourselves. And if we're ever going to create a unity worthy of the word, we need to become the kind of individuals who don't need the crowd to feel whole. The kind of humans who bring clarity into the group instead of losing ourselves inside of it. Unity starts where cowardice ends. Unity begins where the individual grows the fuck up. Maybe the real question isn't whether humans can unite, it's whether humans can evolve. And the answer, brutal, inconvenient, and uncomfortable, is that unity will always fail until the individual stops running from themselves. Humanity won't be saved by groups. It'll be saved by the individuals courageous enough to question them. As always and with love, albeit tough love. Valentino, the Grime Minister Grimes. Peace.
One of the things we might learn from history is that the government's interests are not necessarily the same as ours. In fact, are rarely the same as ours. Because if you think the government's interests are the same as yours, then you think, well, if something is going wrong, it must be that they made a mistake because they really care about us. They don't care about us.